What's up YouTube, DTDNOS here with another deck profile video. So I know I just uploaded one of my TG blackwings, but through some more consideration and some testing, I've swapped up the engine a little bit, and I find it to be a little bit more interesting, a little bit more consistent. The deck is a little bit more common than TG blackwings, but it's definitely it's definitely significantly better than the Blackwing engine. So it's the Flamvell engine. So there's some couple tech choices, or a couple of choices about numbers of cards that I've made. We'll go through those, but we'll take a look at the deck profile. The extra and side deck have yet to be. The extra deck is pretty much going to be the same. The side deck needs to be reworked out at the moment, just because it's still for Blackwings. So, but we'll go through the main deck at least. So first of all, we're playing two only Flamvell Magicians. Flamvell Magicians really, I guess, one of the main only dead draws in the deck, and having three of them makes you more likely to draw it dead. Having two of them, you're less likely to open up with it, and it's outnumbered by fire dogs. So having two of these, I feel, is a good. It's a solid number to have. It adds a little bit of consistency, and it cuts the deck from 41 to 40. So that's my own choice, but I'll test it a little bit more, see how that goes. But it's going good so far. Next, we have triple fire dog. Obviously, this is the heart and soul of the deck. It's a beat stick that you use to get out your magicians. Obviously, having more of them, having more of these than magicians, you're more likely to draw into these. You're more likely to be able to search out your magicians if you have more fire dogs. So this is an obvious choice, running three of them. It's just too key. But that's honestly it for the Flamvell engine. There's a few other choices I'm thinking about trying out right now, either Flamvell Baby or the pawn thing or whatever it is. I still have to figure out that, but that'll swap up the build a little bit more. But for right now, we're just testing it with the 5. Next on to the TG engine, we only play 2 TG strikers. It's only all that's really necessary. I mean, it's just a tuner to help special summon, and it sets up some more plays for later in the game. Next to TG Werewolf, obviously only 2. I had to cut the third one out to make a little bit to make some room for a couple of other cards, but 2 is consistent enough. Drawing into this card is also a little bit dead if it's not really what you need. So having the deck at 40, but having this at 2 is adds consistency. You're not drawing into this and having to just keep setting it when your opponent's got like 3 or 4 monsters on the board. And then lastly is the TG Rush Rhino. This card's a good card in general. I'm thinking about even maybe possibly taking it to 3, just because it's so good. It's super strong. Gets buffed, and it's pretty good. So that's but for now too, I like it's pretty solid. Next, we play triple Tengu. Still missing the Tengu, but we play triple Tengu. Obviously, considering how the deck special summons a lot with the Flamvell engine and synchros quite a bit, having and also actually it exceeds a lot as well. Having the Tengus adds a lot of consistency and deck thinning, so these are a must play. Next are a couple of I guess in all the builds that I've seen of TG Flamevells, these are staple cards, or cards that are normally in the deck. But Giant Rat, this gives you access to this card, Grand Mole. Grand Mole, adding a little bit of a stun effect to the deck, lets you get over big things that you need to get over, and helps you maintain your board presence if you already have things on the board. Giant Rat also allows you access to all of your TGs, so giving you that extra search. Next, we're going to play one Gale, because Gale is just a good card, adding a little bit more stun, I guess a little bit more control to the deck as well. Being able to cut things in half, getting over Stardust is very good. Also, it's just a good tuner. Also, there's more exceed possibilities with Gale. Next, we play 2 Effect Veiler. Obviously there's going to be this deck is pretty controlling at the same time as being very aggro heavy, so this is more of the control aspect of the deck, being able to stop certain plays, stop tour guide plays from going off. This is or stop debris dragon plays, things along those lines. So this card's obviously it's very good. Honestly, a staple in pretty much every single deck. So obvious choices. And we play one Caius because Caius is just busted, probably the best sack monster of all time. And overall, just a great removal creature. And last but not least, Tragodia. Tragodia, I'm still figuring out whether I like it or not, considering that him having this deck really doesn't hold a lot of hand presence, I suppose, just because it's a lot of special summoning and synchroing. So that in itself isn't that good, but considering that it actually does synchro and whatnot a lot, considering a lot of things are in the graveyard, lets you set up some plays. So Tragodia, I think, is good at a 1-of for this deck, but not a 2-of or anything. So we'll see how it goes into testing. That's it for the monster lineup. It's actually a significant amount of monsters. I didn't actually count it, but it's a lot. Next, going into the spell lineup, we play Triple Rekindling. Running the Flamvell engine, you obviously need to run these cards. Taking it down to 2, I'm thinking about as well, and then dropping maybe a 3rd Magician. I'm not sure yet. I have to figure it out, but through testing. But this so far is looking pretty nice. Triple Rekindling lets you bring back all of or as many fire monsters, so lets you make more exceeds and more synchro plays per turn, which is always helpful. Gets the board running in your favor. Next is 2 Forbidden Lance. This card actually is really, really good for this deck because it lets your fire dogs get over things a little bit easier. But the only other thing I'm thinking about swapping this for is an enemy controller. Enemy controller is a little bit more of a viable card if it, say, gets spaced or something along those lines. And it's also a little bit more defensive, in my opinion. If you get board wiped and that's what you draw, having that allows you to stall out for a little bit longer. Lance is nice in the more offensive plays. There's pros and cons of each card, so I'm gonna have to test which one I like more. But for right now, 2 Lances, super really good. This card's still amazing. Don't get me wrong, it's a really good card. So we'll see how that goes. And from here on out, it's pretty staple, actually. The Pop Brigade, 2 dualities, and a Pot of Avarice. Obviously, being able to recycle your Flamevells and your Tengus and your TGs, and pretty much like recycling everything in the deck, is very good. And being able to have, just being able to get an extra monster, for example, with dualities is also very helpful. And then we got Mind Control, busted card for this deck. Lets you set up so many ridiculous, stupid plays. Same with Monster Reborn. Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, and the Book of Moon. All staple cards. And then the trap lineup, actually, it's gotten a little bit smaller from the last video. But I feel it still holds its defensive posture with the trap lineup. So 1 TT, double D Prison. This card is just insanely good. It's too good not to run. Lets you stop so many of your opponent's big plays. And then the Solemn Brigade, and that's enough of a control, enough control in the trap lineup to allow you to set up and go off. So I feel that a lot of people don't like the warnings, but considering one that they're a lot cheaper now, the tins are out, and for this deck, considering that you kind of need to have a defensive posture until you're ready to go off, unless you go off right away, is very important. So having these 3 cards in the deck is pretty crucial. Other than that, though, the whole deck remains still intact. I guess I can go through the rest of the stuff just for the sake of consistency of the videos. These are actually out of order because I've been playing a little bit, so forgive the out of orderedness. For the TG synchros, right now is a Power Gladiator and a Wonder Magician. I'm feeling about taking out one of these maybe the Power Gladiator, but for other synchros eventually when I get them. But for right now, these will do fine. Next, we got the Android, obviously to gain your life. Pretty important. Still playing the Armwing. This is probably going to get flipped or just swapped out for an Armor Master. I feel it's a little bit more consistent, a little bit easier to make than the Armwing. So I just need to get that. It's no big deal. Black Rose Dragon, busted. Ancient Fairy Dragon with Dark World's going to be getting very, very good. I feel that this card's actually an essential synchro in the extra deck. Just being able to stop the Dark World, the Gates plays, just right in its tracks, kind of shuts it down. So I feel this is kind of an essential synchro. I'm glad that I have one now, and so but we'll see how that plays out. But that's just my honest opinion. Next, Double Stardust. I missed some six stars for sure. Yeah, I definitely missed some 6 stars. But there's 2 Stardusts in here. Gaia Knight to get over Stardust. Iron Chain to do some crazy mill action. These are excuse me. For the meantime, these are just placeholders for Brio and a few other things. The 9-star, if you can even, yeah, you can make 9 stars, but right now it's a Field Marshal. Field Marshal's kind of more of a advantage card as opposed to Trishula. Trishula I still need to acquire, but it's a $45 card, so I'm not looking quite at the moment to go spend that much money. So this is a decent substitute for now, especially because it's vanilla synchro. Pretty much, like it's 1 tuner and 2 more non-tuners. No specific creatures that you need to make it. So that's really nice to have. Decisive Armor, same thing. This has a little bit more application. It's able to be used against agents and the Lightsworn matchup, because those are actually very, very prevalent these days. We'll see how, with Dark World's going to be going up in popularity, we'll see how these things, or how this holds up against them. I mean, it's still a 3300 beater, don't get me wrong, it's great. Also, it can hold you down in a defensive posture with a 3300 defense. But we'll see how well this does in the future. And then for the Xyz, 1 Leviathan Dragon for now. Zenmeister, Utopia. Just waiting to get myself either a Leviair or a second Utopia, something along those lines. The extra deck, for the time being, the Solace is just a placeholder. This is probably going to be another Cyber Dragon. Second Cyber Dragon eventually. Allied Justice, Gen X Allied Birdman. Thinking about this card was better in the Blackwing build, but it's not so good, and right now it's just kind of just sitting as a placeholder. Not sure as to where I want to go with it yet, but this is it's decent. Double Juju Master. I guess for now it's going to be temporarily. It might even stay, just depending on how the format plays out. But for all we, not entirely sure about this yet. So this will probably get swapped out for something else, but not quite sure about it yet. Obviously, there's the 1 Cyber Dragon that I'm missing a second of. Kaiku is obviously, this is going to go up to 3. Definitely, there's no doubt about that. It's super duper good. This actually might, the Juju Masters, the Jujutsu Masters might be other Kaikus. So we'll see how that one plays out. The Icarus attack right now, this is just placeholder because I don't have anything else to put in here. There's going to be Thunder Kings in this as well, making it a little bit more of a stun engine. Playing 2 Compulses, kind of more defensive posture, sets up things if there's a lot of Stardust play that they do. Back Row Hate. Smashing Ground, obviously, it's pretty good. Double Leeching the Light, so Light Monster Hate. And then a Mind Crush. Mind Crush is just good in general, is a good overall card. Not worth the main deck, I don't feel so much right now. One, because I can't find room. I can't think of anything else that I would want to take out of the main in place of Mine Crush, but there's probably going to also be Dust Shoots in here as well somewhere. But this Mine Crush is a good card, so it's definitely worth the side. So that is the whole deck profile, guys. If you like what you see, post a comment down below, down there. Post your recommendations. Don't bash the deck. I mean, people tend to bash things if they think it's being constructive, but it's not being constructive at all. It doesn't help anybody. So, but just post suggestions. What you think about the build, things you would take out and put in. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys.